Tasmania is roughly the size of Ireland, but with a population of just 500,000 people, it's home to some of the greatest expanse of wilderness left on our planet. Despite all this room for nature, some of Tasmania's most well-known animals face an uncertain future. Tasmanian devils are endangered. Disease and historical persecution have caused their numbers to plummet. Right from birth, reaching adulthood is challenge enough. But the devil's vicious reputation has made life even more difficult for them. One man, however, has spent years helping to change people's perceptions. Cameraman and ecologist Simon Plowright moved to Tasmania in 1981.
I'd been brought up as a nature lover back in Wales, and to come to this incredibly exotic place, it was very exciting.
Since then, Tasmanian devils have become very close to Simon's heart.
When I first came to Tasmania, I heard devils in the forest at night. The screaming noises, the unusual calls that devils make when they're having a bit of a tiff seemed really, really strange to a person from Wales. Of course, you're intrigued and want to go and find out what this animal is. One of my first experiences of being close to these animals was going out with an old guy. He'd lived there all his life. He knew the area like the back of his hand. He still occasionally caught the odd wallaby to eat, because he'd been brought up on that sort of thing. And so I went out with him, and he had a couple of spots where he trapped a wallaby, and the wallabies had been stolen by devils. And that, to me, was fascinating.
Buoyed by tales of wallaby-stealing beasts that lurked in the night, Simon was desperate to find out more. He set out to try and observe wild devils.
Well, the first time that I actually sat out with devils, I was obviously a bit wary and, do these things attack people? Are they going to start eating me? Because, I had heard tales of devils eating people, dead people and all this sort of stuff, and, will they go for a live one? I'm new to this country, so I wasn't completely sure, but very soon I realized that they're not the slightest bit interested in me. Coming from the UK, where foxes and badgers and all these things are pretty scared of people, I was amazed with how they didn't seem to care about me being there.
Simon quickly came to realize that these weren't the terrifying monsters people thought they were. He began to learn all about political and social structure.
The sounds that you hear around the noise really is just bluff.
Since then, Simon has used all he's learnt to raise awareness of devils.
I've taken many, many people from all around the world out to see devils, and people have one and all said to me, this is as good as anything I've seen on the planet.
Changing public perception has been an important step in devil conservation. Indeed, right here in Tasmania, there's a stark example of where persecution can lead. Only a relatively short time ago, it drove another top carnivore to extinction. A predatory marsupial called the thylacine once lived here. This was the last known captive individual. Filmed in Hobart Zoo, this is the only footage of these extinct predators. Nicknamed the Tasmanian tiger, this island was the thylacine's final refuge. But when Europeans arrived in Tasmania, they saw the thylacine as a threat to livestock. It was soon hunted to extinction. This individual died in 1936. It's an important reminder of what's at stake for Tasmania's wild devils. Today, however, despite a shift in public perception of these animals, the last decades have seen the emergence of an even greater threat to devil populations.
In recent times, the Tasmanian devil's been put on the endangered species list because of the facial tumour disease.
Facial tumour disease is a transmissible disease that causes cancerous growths. It's devastated devil populations.
The horrible thing about it is there's no cure. So when an animal becomes infected, it will die. In places where the disease has gone through the landscape, the numbers have been reduced by 80 and 90%. Where there are low numbers on the landscape, it's not possible to sit and watch wild devils anymore. It's really, really a sad thing, and each time now when I pack up to leave a wild devil viewing session, I think, well, this could easily be the last time. And yeah.
But there is hope. A vaccine has been created, and some devils seem to be evolving resistance to the disease.
It is heartening, though, that this disease, having started at this spot 20 years ago, there are still animals there. It gives you an indication of how tough these little creatures are and how they will hang on in the landscape.
As a safeguard, Simon also breeds devils as part of a wider human effort to protect the species from extinction.
Tasmanian devils are only found in Tasmania. They became extinct on mainland Australia a long time ago. One of the worst things that could ever happen, I guess, is the Tasmanian devil ends up like the Tasmanian tiger. It's so vital that these animals are protected. Let's hope for the future that the devils, with the help from us, can once again be free in the wild and beat this disease.
Tasmania is a refuge to some unusual species, many of which are long extinct on the Australian mainland. This island may be a vast wilderness, but even here the influence of our human world is felt. And a great deal of hard work and dedication is still required to ensure the survival of its wild residents.